Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, I've said this earlier today. I've been asked more questions about Signal in the last 2 days by these journalists who didn't seem to care at all that we had a commander-in-chief who couldn't put 2 sentences together for 4 years. So forgive me if I'm not being caught up in this faux outrage that is being demonstrated by my Democrat colleagues about a Signal chat that didn't have war plans. It occurs to me that this is more to do about the election loss and rooting against President Trump and trying to get a scalp than it is about national security. So keep going with it. Keep going with it, because this is the failed stuff that didn't work for you before. Dr. Minks, I want to draw your attention, because we have a president now that will take decisive action. Clearly, the announcement of NGAD, moving forward with NGAD, is a real positive. Just so happens that the F-47 will be built by Boeing in St. Louis, which is a big win, but I think it's a big win for the country to move forward. How do you see our strategic, Senator, the chairman and I wrote an op-ed last year about doubling down really on our air superiority. It's a real important thing for us to do strategically. How do you think where do we stand right now? How important was that decision in your mind?
I think it was very, very important, Senator. And again, thank you for the one-on-ones we got to do. I appreciate the time. So I think the Department of the Air Force, air superiority, global strike, all the command and control, ISR, all the systems that the department is responsible for are becoming increasingly important, particularly in a China fight when it's such a high threat environment. You know, the 6th generation capability that NGADs will bring, as well as the B-21 and other systems, the long range munitions that we're developing. All those are going to be extremely important, and probably more so almost than probably since World War II with respect to the importance of air superiority and aircraft in general, Senator. So I think it's a very important decision.
One other thing that is just worth mentioning, I know you've been asked a couple questions about this from some other senators on the committee, but we have an Air Force Reserve fighter wing, the 442nd, that the A-10 is going away. So these follow-on missions and the critical personnel that, you know, are highly trained, and if there's not a sort of a follow-on mission, you lose that expertise, and it's really, really hard to get it back. And so there's been a lot of discussions that I'll look forward to talking with you and others about. The F-15EX seems to make a lot of sense there. But Dr. Mink, I also want to ask you, you have a pretty unique perspective, having served as the Deputy Director of NRO and been responsible for procurement with commercial space capabilities. And, you know, confirmed, you'll have responsibility for managing the kind of the other side of that collaborative partnership from the Space Force, the Space Force side. How do you view the role of commercial space imagery providers? And I say this, NGA West is in St. Louis, a huge asset and critical to our national security. How do you view that, given your role, previous role?
So I think commercial space in general is going to play a continuing, a bigger and bigger part in what we do, both from a commercial space and then also from national security. Imaging services are a big part of that. We've made a lot of advances in my current job. We've dramatically expanded the number of commercial providers. It's been interesting, right? Operating in that highly dynamic VC commercial space, we've learned some lessons, but I think we've come out of it stronger, and I expect to and hope to, if confirmed, take those lessons that I've learned working that in the NRO to the department.
And I guess for whoever, I've just got one question left, so whoever wants to jump in, and Dr. Mink, I feel like I've been dominating the questions with you. We've heard a lot about procurement reform and being more nimble. You've probably been asked, and I was in and out of this hearing about this before, but what are, if there were 2 things that we could do better to do that, what would it be?
Senator, I'll take the question. I think, first of all, I think we need to really examine very closely what are the regulatory burdens that we place on businesses that want to do business with the federal government. I think we need to be a dependable and reliable customer, because competition is the greatest incentive structure that we can have for our industry. And if we, there's that famous spaghetti chart out there that talks about post Last Supper in the late 90s, the defense industrial base went from 51 primes to 5 primes, which really puts, and our prime contractors deliver tremendous capability. But I do think we deprive ourselves of the benefits of competition, and so it would be my priority, if confirmed as the Undersecretary, to examine where are those opportunities that we could remove the barriers to entry for both new venture-backed or private capital-backed companies, or to help companies that are already providing value, that are struggling to get access to the Pentagon, to give them greater access, because I think that will just really help us to identify and accelerate capability to the warfighter.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator Schmitt.